What's going on, vloggers, bloggers, and everyday toilet brewers? It's time for another episode of the Toilet Vlog Brewing Show. Today we're going to be doing a whiskey. What do you call it? I have what's called the T500. Here is the condenser for it. You've probably seen one of my episodes where I made like moonshine or something like that before. So it had been sitting for a while, so it was quite dirty. And these are these little copper saddles that go inside the column, and you can use a cleaning technique that's really easy. What you do is that you get citrus acid. Let's see if I can turn that on. Citrus acid peroxide, which is holding up my phone right now, and then just simple water. And then you can see how the water is already turning blue, because it's just going to eat a layer of, because you can see how dirty they used to be. But put it in there, equal parts, you know, there's like an exact ratio, but I forgot what it was. But yeah, just give it a good shake until it all turns back to just regular nice copper. And then I've got this, what's called the stainless steel saddles, and just some soap and water. And I'm just getting this still all cleaned up and ready to go. What do you call it? The T500 is just a one-click thing by Still Spirits. No, they don't sponsor me, duh, because nobody really watches these, but thought I'd promote their product a little bit because it's a nice product. You can literally flip the thing on, make sure you cut your heads, you know, get rid of all your other nasty bits, you know, get those all nice and clean. This is the top of it, which is dirty. I need to wash that too. And then it will screw on with this guy. And what I'll do is that once all this stuff is clean, I'll fill this column with those saddles. The copper will go in first, so it will go all the way up to the top where there's another condenser up here. And there's also a condenser shaft in between this, because this is what's called a reflux distiller. So it does like twice the reflux, or twice the distilling power in one run. You can do 2 runs with this, but for me, it's not really necessary. You know what I mean? I'm going to be doing like a 3 to 2 gallon batch, so it's going to be really small. Either way. And there used to be a thermometer right here, but the last time I distilled something, it like it didn't blow up or anything crazy like that, but it popped out when I was cleaning it and then dunked itself into like, you know, the nasty stuff that was left over, and it did not come out well, and I don't even know where it is anymore, which kind of sucks. But I will show you what, I wonder if I can flip this. Oh, no, I just took a picture. So now you can kind of see from the other side. These are little things that we'll put at the bottom. They're like boiling stones that will help like kind of like fluctuate what's going on. Don't worry about the dirty sink. And then this is the whiskey that we're going to be doing. So Kyle from my brewing group made this, and I guess he over oaked it or whatever. I pulled it straight out of the keg and sparkloided it. It still got some carbonation because it was previously carbed, but I've had it in an airlock ever since then. But look at this sediment. That is ridiculous. That even came out of the keg. And then when I dropped the keg, or when I opened the keg and dumped out all the oak cubes that he had there were like 30 of them in there. It was ridiculous. Less next time. Either way, yeah, I'll get all this cleaned up, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it starts coming out. So I basically did the same thing where I did that, you know, 1-1-1 mixture. Sorry, I'm having to hold this because I'll explain. But you can see what the copper looks like now. You know, it's still a little dirty because I've used this system a couple of times, but let me look how shiny and brand new it looks compared to what it was earlier. So I did the same mixture where I did water, peroxide, and citrus acid, and I put it in this pitcher, and then I dumped it in here. And I'm actually, Jesus, why is it every time I start a video I burp like 6 times in a row? But I poured that mixture right into the column tube. Again, sorry about the dishes. But since this thing likes to leak from the bottom, and that's all systems, they all do it. Well, you can see where the out is right here. So I'm basically going to hold this for a couple of minutes, and because there is copper all up and down this column right here. So and all that needs to be cleaned with this mixture. It will make the tarnish go away, and all that blue hue that comes off the copper and makes it like brand new. So, all right. So I'm racking it off of that cake when it's going into the still. I've already got our little boiling guys in there. You can see that. I took everything out of the cleaner and basically attached it in. So I packed that entire column, copper first, and then stainless steel. And then I put this rivet on here, and I tightened it on. You want to tighten it as much as you possibly can. I mean, I don't know if you want to use a tool. There is a rubber thing in here that causes it not to, like, leak or anything like that. But the steel is basically just ready to go. I basically just put that on the top, plug it in, flip it on, probably 30, 45, could take up to an hour, and then we'll start seeing product coming out, or at least steam. And then once I get everything else set up, I'll show you how I use the sink to have the cold water coming in. Alright, so I've got the whole still set up now. Here's the column. That's our outgoing. This is our incoming, and that is our product condenser. You can hear it starting up right now. I just flipped it on. And this is how I'm going to be controlling it. So I'll basically use this needle thread right here to basically control how much cold water is going into the system. And since I don't have my thermometer, there's a little hole right here where the water comes out. So usually it takes a little while because we got to get this thing up to like 200 degrees. And you can notice there's the empty. You can notice that I don't have any of the sanitizer sitting around, because since we're going to be distilling this and making a pure spirit, we don't have to worry about sanitizing everything. That beer was already brewed and sanitized and all that other good stuff, so we don't have to worry about anything from there. Because after anything that's coming out of here afterwards, it's going to be like 190 proof, so we don't have to worry about things going bad. So, yeah. All right. I'll come back whenever I've got product coming out, and we'll dump the 4 shots. That's the nasty stuff, the methanol, stuff that causes you to go blind and die. It's poison. Just throw it away. And then we'll start collecting hearts. Our heads, hearts, and tails from there. I've got a couple of mason jars over here already. 2 more upstairs. And then we'll proof it, see how much it is, and then go from there. Alright, so I noticed one thing that when we were trying to, or when I was trying to, get the plug going and everything like that, I actually found the thermometer, and it's plugging the hole, because it was spraying out there for a minute, and it was soaking the counter and everything, but I just got a few drops a second ago, and I could definitely smell it. So I think we're getting close. I've already got the needle thread ready to go. As you can see, some is coming out. Just the tiniest little bit of water. But with this system, every time, with this system, you want to have as much water that's going in, with as much product you're getting out. Oh, here we go. So I'm going to slow that down a little bit. You want it to be like a drip, drip, pour, drip, drip, pour. And I'm like barely even turning this thing. There we go. Okay. Up it a little bit. Remember, this is all the methanol. I think we've got it. It's kind of just straight pouring out right now. You more wanted to do like a drip, drip, pour, drip, drip, pour. But this could just... I'm going to let it go. I'm going to go ahead and let it run like this for a second. Definitely, it definitely smells like methanol. All right, well, I'm gonna keep an eye on this thing for a minute so it has my full attention. I mean, safety first. I have a fire extinguisher right there just to let everybody know. So, okay, yeah, now it seems to be relaxing, but you can basically see what's going on. So the beer that Kyle did is in here. It's boiling, and then it's condensing. And then this is the cold water that's coming in, copper snake. And the hot water that's coming out. Whoop, shit! See, that's why I'm going to get off and pay attention to this for a little while. Alright, no fires. Alright, so I finally got it where I wanted to do. So you'll see pour, drip, 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 pour, drip, 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 pour. Just like I was saying. Another thing I like to do is take your empty mason jar, get some of the out water in there, shake it up, and you'll just sanitize your jar real quick. Like I said, you don't really have to worry about sanitization that much because this is like pure alcohol. So you can see we're going to collect up to about that 8 right there. We want 8 ounces. Once that gets up to 8, that's how we know our safety net has been made. Another cool thing that you can do when it comes to methanol and ethanol is you can take a little bit of it, and I know this sounds crazy, but go into a different room, get like a teaspoon of it, light it on fire. Now, if there's yellow in it, methanol. If it's just pure blue, or is it the other way around? Shit. I'm going to have to look that up again. Well, look it up before you do it, but I mean, still, be safe. Don't light things on fire while you obviously have alcohol coming out of something. But yeah, we're basically getting there. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to dump all that. All that's just going to go right into the sink. So I'll come back and we'll start collecting more jars of this. So it's about 3 gallons to about 2.5. So I don't know how much we're really going to get out of this. So hopefully I'm not over collecting heads, and we're just. I mean, we got to get through the. The faints. You know, we're gonna be safe either way. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. You see how much is coming out of the water? Barely any. That's perfect. All right, so we already collected our methanol, and I just dumped it down the sink. There's the jar that it was in. And now we're going to start collecting hearts, and then our heads, and then hearts. So what I like to do is that I like to take a little bit of it, put it on my finger. It's a little sweet. You can still you can taste the oakiness a little bit. It's a little funky. There's a lot of tannins in this from all that oak, so I'm hoping some of that will strip out. See, how you can really tell is it's got some like butteriness going on. It's kind of weird. Yeah, you can splash this stuff on your fingers. Like, look at this. See, my fingers are wet. Just like hand sanitizer. Gone. Evaporates. But yeah. I don't know. I'm going to have to play around with this one for a little while. It's really ethanol-y. So it's kind of hard to see what's going on in here. So we're going to see how much we can collect, and then we'll go from there. Since this is a T500, you know, it's a reflex distiller, so the product claims that you can just one and done, dump your methanol and be good, which I've had that happen before. I mean, when I first unboxed this guy and did a sugar wash at like 25% alcohol by volume, I got like 193% alcohol and proof. And I had like 16 jars of it. You know, it wasn't that video that I posted, but, you know, and it was like a one and done. So, I mean, you got to think reflux. It's going through all that packing, like we were talking about. Ooh, that's hot. And so, you know, any of the stuff that's not supposed to like condense and turn into the actual alcohol vapor just falls right back down. So, I'm going to try and squeeze out as much as I possibly can of this, because I want to give Kyle some pretty good product. Either way. Alright, well, let's see you in the next part of the video. So, I just did a cut because the prickliness kind of went away. So did the butteriness, which was kind of weird. So that's what we're going to call our heads right now. I'm still getting the oak, and it's kind of strangely sweet. like a bourbon. I mean, like, I don't know if you guys are like liquor drinkers or beer drinkers or whatever, but when I drink a bourbon, and it's a really good bourbon, it's sweet to me, you know? Oh, yeah. It almost smells like butter. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Yeah, it's so weird. We're on the, yeah, like I said, we're on the second part, so I'm just gonna keep collecting, you know. And once I'll taste it. This is what we call rolling cuts. I'll taste it, and if I notice any kind of flavor change at all, I immediately just swap out the jar. You know what I mean? And this thing's gonna just keep going. It's a one-click system. Bam, bam, bam. And so I'm just gonna line up the jars and see what we got until we're all the way down at the end, and then we'll taste each jar, see if there's something that we like from each individual jar, and then we'll just blend it. And then I'll proof it down to 80, and then we'll try it. So we're about 4 jars that cut, because every single time there's a flavor profile change. It's crazy. So now I'm getting like, chocolate, wheat, like what the beer actually was. Oh yeah, I think we're finally into our hearts. It took this much, but I think we're here, man. So I'm just gonna go ahead and watch this really close. It's still doing drip, 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 pour, drip, 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 pour like it needs to. I'm just gonna watch this really close and keep like smelling it, tasting it, and if there's any kind of like astringency that I don't like potpourri, toe jam, like wet dog taste, that's when you know you're in the tails. Cut it off. I mean, you can collect the tails, because there are a lot of good things in tails, like peppery and stuff like that. So, I mean, just, you know, I wouldn't say just taste this thing every, 10 seconds, you know. But, you know, I would let it go for, a minute or two, and then go from there. I'm literally sitting in a chair in my kitchen, so, you know what I mean? But you really do want to, pay attention, kind of watch it, smell it. Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, it's actually pretty damn good now. Earlier it was really, really prickly, and then peppery and I wouldn't say pepper, but sweet, but way over the top. So this, who knows? We might be in the tails now. It's only been probably an hour and 20 minutes, but you know, I've had some of these batches go 3-4 hours before. I mean, distilling is a long process. It really is. So, and it's also tedious work in the fact that you need to constantly monitor it so you can make your cuts, you know. And so I'm running out of jars. I've got this jar over here that was kind of just catching the stuff, but, you know, and then I've got some tomato jars up in there, but I don't want to make any more off flavors than there already is. So, but yeah, I'm actually... Yeah, still there. Woo! It is good. Alright, and when we get done, we'll mix it and go from there. Well, guys, here we go. So, what I basically did is that I took all of the tails, because that's where all the flavor was. And it was about yay much on this jar. About yay much where my finger is. My middle finger. Sorry. And then what I did was I spliced it with the other 2 cuts. And this is what's left, and that's all heads. But I spliced it with the back 2 cuts, and this is about what we're left over with. So for 3 gallons, and it's not bad. It's actually really good. It's spicy. I haven't proofed it yet, but you get all those characteristics. Like you can taste what type of yeast he used, like the oak, the wheat, the chocolate, all of it. It came out really well. So, but either way, yeah, that's basically Hammock whiskey. I know this was already oaked or something like that, but you could totally add more oak to it. I'm going to run upstairs, grab my proofer. Let's get an actual proof on this goddamn thing, and we'll go from there. We'll do a shot, too. Alright, so I got my proofing hydrometer right here. We're at 170 proof. You can see how this thing works, how much I had to pull out of the mason jar and everything like that. I hate proofing sometimes because, like, I don't want to lose product. Alright, so you just saw it's 170 proof. So I got a little bit of water right here. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use this purified water from my Primo system. And then I'm just going to proof it down a little bit. Every time I make a fucking video. So you can see it's got a little bit of tails in there. What that is a little bit of tails in there, but there's nothing wrong with that because, I mean, that's where all our flavor came from, so. Oh, yeah. Man, it's not bad. It's not, like, phenomenal, don't get me wrong, but it's not bad. For the flavor profiles that we got and everything like that, you can still taste kind of like... You can still taste like the chocolate, the wheat, the malt, and whatever the fuck yeast he used. It's gotta be like USO5 or something like that. It's a lot of esters that pull through when it comes to distilling compared to brewing and stuff like that. But either way, I'm pretty happy with the product. I mean, look how much we were able to pull off with only about 2-3 gallons. You know, and that's at 170 proof, so it's a lot. You know, you could proof that by down and proof it by half, and then bam, you know. So either way, thanks for watching. I know it's been a while since I've done a video, so